this is Candace from Lion's Hook Crochet. I thought I would go ahead and come back and tell you guys how the Poke Convention went in Huntsville. It was on June 27th and today is July 10th. It's taken me a minute to get to this video just because it's always hectic after a market, especially with a baby. And so I wanted to go over what all I finished before the convention and then also what sold at the convention. Any patterns that I have a link to, I will try to link in the description. If you didn't see my last video where I went over what all I've already made, go ahead and check that out. It's on this channel and I'll go ahead and link it somewhere down here. And so I wanted to go over first the con itself. It was in Huntsville, Alabama. It was a really good convention in the sense that there was a really good crowd. It was bad in the sense that it was way too small of a venue. The venue itself was at Embassy Suites in Huntsville, right near the public library. Beautiful hotel, nothing wrong with the hotel itself. But it also had a couple events going on that same day, so parking was a nightmare. Loading in was a nightmare. As a vendor, I paid around $250 for 2 tables, which is a lot, and I still had to pay for parking, which was typically $15, and I only had to pay $9. I'm so lucky. But luckily, I was in a situation where my boyfriend just took the car and took our baby and went home while I worked the market, which is not ideal, but it worked. Another thing I mentioned, size. We were in what I believe was the ballroom. It was overcrowded. Luckily, us vendors had space behind our booths, and I had 2 tables, so I had plenty of space, but it was very anxiety-inducing. I have a couple of videos of the crowd. I'll go ahead and put them here. The 2 videos I have are maybe an hour into the show. When the show started, he said there was a line out to the parking lot. The con itself went good in the sense that I did sell because there were so many people, but it was bad in the sense that it took 30 minutes for anybody to be able to move at all. But other than that, it was a great crowd and I made quite a bit. I did make my booth sales back and I made a good amount on top of that. I loved it. I will probably go back next year just because the sales were so great, but also I'm into the hobby myself. I collect and I have 2 trade binders that are filled to the brim of cards I don't want, but cards I would like to trade instead of spending money towards cards that I do want. A lot of kids were really into the little freebie cards that I had on the table, which was very awesome. I had 2 kids give card, which was really awesome. And in fact, I traded with some people. They wanted a plushie, they couldn't afford it. They said, "Do you take trades?" I said, "Sure, why not?" Anyways, without further ado, after all that rambling, let's get into the actual plushies, how much I had them priced for, and how many of them sold. So starting up, the cheapest was some Luvdiscs, and I believe I got that one from a free YouTube pattern, but I will link, again, all of them down in the description. That one I had priced for $5. It's about the size of your palm. It's not that big. And I had 4 of those, and I had 3 of them in mystery balls. The mystery balls, I'll go ahead and explain. I had aluminum Pokeball tins. I put in a plushie, a card of that Pokemon, and then some stickers. And so I put, and we'll go through them, but 3 Luvdiscs were part of that. One of them was a shiny, and with that you got like a coin and everything. So there were 2 shinies. It was an Allanite and a Luvdisc. These Pokeballs, I had a feeling they would do well. They sold within the first hour. It was insane. My first sale was a Pokeball and they sold within an hour. And I made 15, which is great because I loved making them. The next item was the Lotads. Lotads were $6 and I made 3 of them and 2 of them went in the mystery Pokeballs. Those are a free YouTube pattern, I know for a fact, and I'll link that in the description below. Those did great. People love Lotad. I love Lotad. He's so good. Diglett was next. He was priced at $7 and I made 3 of him and then 3 of him went in the mystery bags as well. Every Diglett sold. Coughing didn't do as well. I was kind of surprised. I think people didn't realize it was Coughing because a lot of people thought he was ghastly for some reason, which They do look very similar. I say for some reason, they look very similar. He's not a very cute Pokemon, but I love him personally. And he was priced at $7 as well. I put 4 of him out, and I believe 3 of him came home. So I think only 1 sold. And then the 3 in the mystery, and those did sell. Jigglypuff is next. I think this was another free pattern. I can't remember. But again, it'll be linked. And those were $8. They are a little bigger and there's more pieces. And then I put 4 of them out and then 2 went in mystery balls. And then next was Applin. I priced him out at $9. He was about 4 inches tall. This was an original design. I kind of just made it up. I might make a pattern, but I just made like an apple shape, a little cone for his green tail, and then 2 Mr. Crab looking eyes. And he sold. He was the only one there. I only made 1 because that yarn doesn't exist anymore. R.I.P. Joanne. And so he sold, and everybody, the person who bought him loved him. So there was an Almanite and a shiny Almanite. I split those up. Those were both $9, and both of them sold. So there were 2, 1 shiny, 1 normal. Caterpie, I priced at $10. They were a little bigger. It was probably about like 6 inches long, probably about half a foot. Really, really cute pattern. I believe it was free as well. And it was priced at $10. I thought that was fair. And I made 2 Caterpies, and then I put 1 in a mystery ball. And both of those Caterpies sold as well. Chikorita, I only made 1. I believe she sold, and she was $12. And then Smoliv, I made 2 of them. And neither one of them sold, and they were priced at $12 as well. So I was very shocked to see that did not sell, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Next were the small evolutions. That pattern is not free. That one is on Etsy, and I priced them at $15 because of how long they took. It took me a week to make all of these evolutions. So there's Eevee, Espeon, Flareon, Glaceon, Jolteon, Leafeon, Sylveon, Umbreon, Vaporeon. And then I decided to make 3 of each other than Vaporeon and Sylveon, just because those 2 had so many details. And so I had to price them at $15 because 1, colors, and 2, time, and 3, suffering. But those sold really well. Not every single one of them sold. I'll go through what I can remember. Eevee did sell. All 3 of those sold. Espeon, I think 1 sold, and that's it. Flareon, I believe 1 sold. Glaceon, I don't think any sold. Jolteon, all 3. Leafeon was all 3 was 2. And then Sylveon both sold. Umbreon, all 3 sold, and Vaporeon, the 2 sold. Next on the list was the Mareep I showed in the last video. I hate that thing. I hated it. I was just, if it came home with me, I was just going to burn it. But it didn't. A little girl wanted it. And I priced it at $15. And it was huge. Any other time, it would not have been priced that. But I did not want it. I didn't like how it looked. People came up and loved it. But I just didn't. I didn't like the pattern. There's some things I would do differently. I digress. Swinub sold. Swinub was an original pattern of mine. I was shocked that he sold because, again, confidence. And he was priced at $15 because he was a little small. Next was Mimikyu. I had 3 Mimikyus sold in the first hour. It was insane. I knew I should have made more, but that's okay. And those were priced at $16. Next was Cyndaquil. I only made 1. He was priced at $18 and he sold. Gengar, I had 2 sold. Next was Solosis. Neither one of those sold, and those were priced at $18, which I think was fair. A lot of people picked him up, but I don't think people knew who Solosis was because no one was reacting to him. So I think he's just kind of a forgotten Pokemon, which is crazy because I love Solosis. He's so cute. Next was Poliwag, which was priced for $25, and I had 2 of those and both sold. One of the people who bought it was walking around and had him balanced on his shoulder, and I just thought that was so cute. It actually gave me the idea to potentially put little magnetic buddies in the future. Oh, that would be so adorable. So I'll insert that photo here. I'm blurring out his face. His face is not there. Next was Rowlet. Rowlet, I only had 1. He was priced at $25, and he did some. Goomy was next. I made 3 Goomies. Maybe 2 sold. Next was Sawaddle. I had him priced at $30. He was a pretty decent size. I only made 1, and he didn't sell. But that's okay, because I love him, so I'm kind of keeping him for myself. He's in my daughter's room. And next is Sudowoodo. I only made one of him, and he did sell. He was 30. And then Ampharos sold. It was a good one. That one sold. It was priced at 35. Charizard sold. I only had one. And sold at 35. So did the Charmander. Meowth, and I believe Shinx were also 35. And then Togedemaru I had priced at 35, and he did not sell, which I thought was kind of surprising because I love Togedemaru. This was Togepi, and Togepi did sell, but it took a long time for them to sell, and they were priced at 35. Eevee was the big lovey, and it was $40 and it sold. The next one was Alakazam, and I had it priced at 45 and it didn't sell. I think it looked really, really good, but it didn't sell. After that was Marill. Marill was priced at 45 as well, and it was kind of bigger. I made it with Bernat blanket yarn, and it turned out really good, and it did sell. Next was the Vaporeon Lovey. That sold, and I only made one, and that was priced at 45. Next was Dreepy, and it was priced at 50. It was kind of big, and it sold. That one did really well. People were really excited about that one. Next was Psyduck. I had it priced at 70, but I believe I sold it for somewhere around like 65 or something because she wanted to trade towards it. And that did go. And then next is Snorlax. I did have two Snorlaxes. I had one priced at 100 because he was really big. And then the next one was just like a regular Bernat blanket. And that one is 75 and it did sell. The next one was Duskull. I had him priced at 85. He was just really big, but he didn't sell, which I was kind of surprised about, which is okay because I kind of wanted to keep him for myself because he's so cool. Next was Growlithe. That one sold like immediately. That one sold to a man in a Growlithe onesie. And he was like, "Is that Growlithe?" I said, "Yeah, it is." And he said, "Okay, I have to get him." Next was the Jumbo Snorlax, and it was priced at 100 and it sold. It didn't take long for that one to sell. I was kind of surprised, just because it's just so expensive. It's so big. Next was this Feel. He was just kind of my showstopper piece. I used to have a Bokoblin from Legend of Zelda, and it was priced at 150 because it was really big, and it took me like 3 or 4 days to make him. It sold at the UAH Charger Con. And I'll upload a picture here. I'll blur out their face again. But that one sold, and so I was like, I don't have a showstopper piece anymore. Like, I don't have something to reel people in. So I made a Feel, and it turned out so much bigger than I expected him to. And it took me probably 3 or 4 days to make him. So I had him priced at 150, and he didn't sell, but a lot of people were looking at him and stuff like that, which I really appreciated. The con overall went really well. I made roughly $1,600. I believe like Square took like 100 or something like that because it was just so much in sales. And then part of that was also cash as well. I'm very happy with how much I made, and then another like 250 of that you can subtract for the booth and stuff. But it went really well. I got quite a few cards that I personally wanted. I got to see a lot of people who would love and appreciate and enjoy their plushies, which I really loved. There was this one boy, he walked up and I had a bunch of freebies. I had like dice and coins and cards for the kids. And he said, "Are these free?" And I was like, "Yeah, go for it." And he was looking through. He was like, "Do you have a favorite Pokemon?" I was like, "I do." I was like, Absol is one of my favorite Pokemon. She's really hard to find, but she's been my favorite since I was in middle school and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And, he was like, "Well, I hope you have a good rest of the convention." And he was just so, so sweet. And they walk back maybe about 20 minutes later, and he hands me an Absol EX card. And he was like, "This is for you." And I was like, "For me?" And he was like, "Yeah." And his mom was like, "He traded for it. Like, he wanted to get you something." It was so sweet. It was so amazing. And that's why you do it, That's why you do the freebies and the drawings and stuff. The drawing did go okay. Ended up going to some really good people. It actually went to the family who bought the Poliwag, which I was really happy about because he had a little sister who loved the Eevee Loungefly. So I'm very happy that it ended up going to them. And it did it did happen naturally in the sense that I drew and waited and they didn't respond, and then drew and waited and they didn't respond. So I just went ahead and gave it to the next person who responded, and they happened to be that family, which I'm really happy for. But yeah, so I don't have any particular plans for a next market. I want to get back out there, but it is hard to make inventory. It's hard to plan. They're expensive. But my next goal is probably to start making some tutorials. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I would really appreciate if you shared this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making this one. And I'll try to upload any photos, videos, anything like that somewhere in this video, sprinkle them in. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.